Hey guys, Dave here. ANGi. Who the hell is ANGi? Well, it's not really who ANGi is, it's more what ANGi is. Today I'm wearing a helmet. It's a Specialized Tactic 3, and on it is an ANGi crash detection sensor. Not only is it a crash detection sensor, it's a ride tracker, and it can call for help when you can't call yourself. I think it's incredible. I rock one on this helmet, and I've got another unit which I'm going to install on an Align helmet that I have. I use it as my commuting helmet. I use it on the single speed behind me and for just pootling around the streets. Let's figure out how to install it, how it works, what the whole go is with it, and why I think you should have one. Follow along and let's get into it. So as you can see, I've bodged my good old iPhone into a bike stand here, and that'll allow me to show you how the Ride app works. So this is the Ride app. I'm going to tap into it. It takes you to a feed, and it shows you different things that you can go and learn, or there's rides and stuff like that that you can join depending on whether somebody has loaded something up. You can go into your activity, so it shows you the rides that you've done. It allows you to have a look at the map, and it also shows you that the ANGi sensor is connected here. You can also select a bike. If you head over to gear, it's got my bike, which is the Epic Evo Comp, and devices, and it also shows you that you've got the Tactic 3 ANGi sensor here. You can rename the sensor from what it comes with originally. I'll just call this one Tactic 3. You'll notice you've got a little burger over here, or 3 dots, and you can tap that. You can name your helmet, you can test mode, or you can disconnect it. I'm going to go into test mode, and what that shows you, if it's on, is the rotational forces that it's measuring. Alright, and if it's super hard, it'll set off. So what we'll do is we'll get out of test mode, we'll go to ride, we'll start the ride, and at this minute you'll find that it's sent an email to my wife to say, hey, Dave's gone for a ride. It's auto paused at the moment, but I'm going to see if I can set the sensor off and go from there. So it obviously gives you 60 seconds to stop this incident. So therefore my wife doesn't get an alert and freak out. And yeah, so that's pretty much what that function there is. So if you fall off and knock your head, or in a serious accident, or it G's out, it will make that noise to alert riders around you, or it will email or more text the emergency contact that you've got set up in your phone. And I think that's kind of handy. So not only is it a ride tracker, it's something that keeps you safe when, say, you've had a massive accident, you might be injured, you might have KO'd yourself. This thing's got a call for help. Send GPS coordinates of where you are, and or last known location, and send effectively for help, which is really cool, especially if you ride by yourself. So within settings, you can head in here and add connections. So you can add it to Strava so that it will upload your rides. You can select your measurement, you can select who is in your emergency contacts, the incident alert countdown, and then bugs and sign out and all that sort of stuff. So next up, we're going to get into setting up a brand new ANGi sensor, and that is super easy. Alright, so here is a brand spanking new ANGi crash detection sensor. It says on escape responsibly. I like that slogan. So let's pop this little bad boy open. Inside is a manual, a one-time Bluetooth activation code, and a little box that has the sensor in it. So we're not going to need the instructions. I'm your instruction manual today. That's gone. Let's open up this. It's got a little baggie and it's got a little ANGi sensor in it. So those are the two main things that you really want out of the packet. So this little sensor here connects to a little space on a helmet. Here's the helmet that we're going to be using today, the Specialized line. So on the back here, you've got a little space where the ANGi sensor will mount. So we're going to go ahead and mount that sensor onto the helmet and pair it up using the phone, which is right here beside me. Okay, so we've got the little ANGi sensor, we've got the helmet. Let's peel off that little bit of backing. And we will place the sensor onto that little pad. The next bit that we've got to do is to peel off the little red sticker, which indicates that you've got to remove the battery insulator. So there's a little plastic insulator inside underneath the battery. So you should know that the battery life on these things is about 6 months. You've got to open up the little battery port that's on here, and that just twists open. So we're going to twist that open and remove the little tiny insulator from the battery. And I'm going to place it back in. And on the back there's a little green light to show that it's alive. And now we can pair it to our phone. Alright, so the next thing that we have to do is connect the sensor to the phone. When you open up the app and you head to My Gear, which is down over here, you'll have the option of bikes or devices. We're going to go devices and we're going to hit plus. We're going to add an ANGi helmet sensor. It says here, make sure that the ANGi sensor is attached to your helmet and Bluetooth on your phone is on. Easy. Open the battery door, remove the plastic film, close the battery door, and wake the ANGi up. So gently tap it and the little green light will come on. We're going to hit next. It's going to search for it. Connect to it, and we're going to use this pairing code to connect it. So type in here ABU 94 HUU, sorry, no, DB. So it pays to note that this is a one-time activation code. If for whatever reason you lose the sensor, or you want to give it to somebody else or anything like that, you've got to get another ANGi code, and they can be procured from Specialized directly. So next, cool. So emergency contacts we can add. We'll go done that bit. So then we've got this second sensor here. I'm going to go in there. Can I go in there? Hello? It's alive now. It's going to go through a firmware update, and you'll also notice that it has a battery status on there. On the Tactic 3, it's down to 2 bars instead of 3.
A few minutes later.
So it's updated the firmware and it's now rebooting it. So while we're waiting for that, this code that I've got here, now completely useless. So it's done its job, and like I said before, if you want to give the sensor to somebody else or put it on another helmet, pretty much just get in your unit effectively, or get a new code. So shake to connect. That's alive. I want to rename it, and I want to call this one Align. Cool. And that in effect is most of the setup for this thing. You can test it to make sure it actually works, that it's got rotational, that it's got acceleration, X and Y, and it seems to be doing its job really well. As you've just seen, we've installed an ANGi sensor onto this Align helmet from Specialized. One thing that I forgot to mention in the setup for the Ride app is that you've got to go in ahead of everything that we just did and add an account. It's super easy. Just add your name, your phone number, your details, set up an account. They'll send you some verification stuff. It'll bounce back and set it up as you would normally any other kind of online account. If you've already got a Specialized account, just log in with those credentials and you're all good to go. Listen, if you found this video helpful on how to set up an ANGi sensor and what it is, what it does, please like, please subscribe, please comment. I really would love to see who's out there watching. Give me a shout, give me a thumbs up, an emoji even, that would be really cool. We'll see you on the next video. Thanks very much for watching. I'm Dave, that bike guy. Cheers.